Yes, it's Martin Shkreli returning your phone call.
Martin, what's up, my dude?
How can I help you?
I'm the publicist for Cumtown. It's a semen-based podcast, and we were wondering if we could have you on sometime this week to discuss your love life,
I'm not interested. I could not be.
What's that?
I could not be less interested.
Why not what make you what could you be less interested in than us? Nothing? You're serious about that?
I am absolutely not interested in joining the podcast.
So you're less interested in that than killing more people with AIDS, would you say?
Do you know a lot about pharmaceuticals?
I'm actually, I'm Walgreens. I'm Stavros Walgreens.
No, I'm sorry. You want to discuss drug pricing?
Yeah, drug pricing, whatever you
So
want.
tell me about drug pricing.
It's a pretty open-ended podcast. No, I can't do it on the phone, buddy. We gotta have you on the
It doesn't sound like you know anything about drug pricing.
What's that?
Doesn't sound like you know anything about pharmaceuticals.
Buddy, stop ducking the question.
No, I'm asking you the question. You think I kill people with AIDS drugs?
Yeah, well, look, I think so, right? Are you the guy who made a drug that kills poor people? I'm not that up on current events, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to just talk at me?
Yes, I would love to talk with and at you both, but on the podcast, dude.
No, I don't care about your podcast, but help me understand what you're talking about with respect to. You're talking about AIDS drugs? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? Look, dude, I don't appreciate this tone right now. I'm being very polite and offering you a free reign on a very successful podcast.
It's not a very successful podcast. It's a irrelevant podcast.
You know.
But
you're coming at me kind of a little disrespectful. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I just want to understand what you meant by killing AIDS patients.
I was calling you a piece of shit in general. You know, I mean, I think that's.
But why?
Honestly, it mostly has to do with your face and your general demeanor. Like kind of the way you're speaking right now is annoying. But I think what we would love to do is hash all this out.
It sounds like you're similar to your fans. You have a very limited ability to rationalize and think through information as it comes at you. The great philosopher Bayes, came up with.
Intellectual on the podcast.
I don't know if you can even pretend to be intellectual for half a second.
I'm not trying to give it away, dude. We're out here on Periscope.
I just want to understand why you don't. I just want to understand why you don't like me. And if you don't like me, why would you want me on your podcast?
Can I be honest with you, dude?
You should always be. You should always be honest with me.
I'm trying to get to know the real Marty. Do people call you Marty ever?
No.
Okay, the real Martin. I'm trying to get to know the real Martin in an in-depth podcast-style interview.
Well, I just want to understand what you meant by drug pricing.
See, you're getting hung up on you. See, okay, so I'm learning a little bit about you. This seems to be an issue that is very important to you.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals. I spend my whole life in pharmaceuticals. Yeah. It sounds like you have some misconceptions about it.
Can you teach me on my podcast or what? Or are you just trying to, you know?
Who is this? I'm sorry. Who is this?
This is Stavros Walgreens.
Oh, who?
Oh boy, Martin. Listen, are you going to do Cumtown or not? Can we?
I've told you 100 times I have no interest in doing it whatsoever.
All right.
But I do want to talk to you about pharmaceuticals. Sounds like you have some misconceptions about.
I don't want to talk about it over the phone, dude. I'm a busy guy.
I see. So you have the time to insult me, but you don't have the time to back it up.
I do. Back what up, dude? What do you want me to talk about?
Because you don't know what you're talking about. You parroting, something you heard in the media about drug pricing, but you're clueless on the subject.
Look, dude.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You don't know anything about pharmaceuticals and pricing.
Are you going to do Cumtown?
I've told you I'm not, but my problem with you isn't about your silly website. My problem with you is that you seem to have some animosity towards me about some pharmaceutical thing, but you also don't know anything about pharmaceuticals, and I'm trying to resolve that cognitive dissonance of stupidity that you're presenting.
Oh, jeez, cognitive dissonance. Come on, man. What are we talking?
Well, you tell me why don't you like me? What's the issue with pharmaceuticals? I might consider your show if you talk to me like a human being.
Hey, now we're talking. Are you being serious?
Well,
Really
at this point, I mean, you're flabbergasting me with your inability to communicate. For a PR person, you should be better equipped. Maybe Cumtown would be more successful if they found somebody else.
That's pretty good. All right, we'll think about it. All right, so.
No, you missed the point. I said that I'm telling you, you just. I'm strongly considering it, but you're not explaining to me what your hang-ups are about pharmaceuticals. You said something about aid pricing. It was sort of was a quick quip. It was like a slight. But let's get back to that point and tell me more about pharmaceuticals.
What do you want me to tell you about? Are you the pharmaceutical guy? You tell me, buddy.
No, you said that I like to kill AIDS patients with high drug prices. Is that what you said?
Alright, man, this fucking sucks. Are you gonna do the fucking podcast or not, dude? What are we doing here?
I'm telling you, tell me more about that, and I'll do your podcast.
That's it? That's all it'll take?
Well, you're impossible to talk to. I mean, why would anyone want to do a communications device of any kind? Podcast, web. I mean, you're like, this is like pulling teeth. You're the worst communicator I've heard. Tell me what you meant by that.
Of all time?
Pharmaceuticals. So far today, pharmaceuticals.
No way. There's somebody worse.
You're a buffoon.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Are you a college student?
What are you looking at? Tuesday or Wednesday?
No. I want to understand what you meant by pharmaceutical price increases and HIV and stuff like that. What do you know? What do you know about Martin Shkreli?
I mean, I don't even understand what we're doing here.
I'm asking you a question. You're not answering it.
I don't fucking want to talk about this. I want to talk about the real market.
It sounds like we're in an impasse. You want to talk about something that I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about something that you don't want to talk about. One of us has to give ground, and then the other will give ground. I'm telling you that if you give some ground, I'll do your podcast. But if you don't give any ground, we're going to be at a stalemate.
Let's give ground.
Okay. So, what do you know about pharmaceuticals and Martin Shkreli?
Oh, jeez. Brian, look, I don't know much, Martin. I'm trying to learn.
You said something about HIV and killing people, so
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I wanted to get a rise. Look, I'm being open and honest with you, Martin.
Not really. You're all you're doing is saying my name over and over again. You have to come up with some coherent thought that expresses your opinion. Maybe I'll give you a start. You heard about me on the news, yeah?
You've been on the news?
Uh-huh. Keep going. You can do it. Just take whatever's going on in your brain, put down the beer and the football game, and just focus. You can talk.
What do you have against beer and football?
Nothing. I just need you to focus on uttering some sentences here. You sound like you're a pothead or something. Just can you communicate at all? Say something, dude.
Yeah, you're in the news. You bought Look, I'm not a bright guy, Martin.
I know. It's obvious to anyone listening.
All right, so we got it. We're agreeing.
But you insulted you insulted me a little bit there.
You've been insulting me this whole time, dude.
No, because you started. You started it.
Well, you told me you didn't want to do my podcast.
Right.
I got hurt. I got hurt emotionally, and I want to build now.
Okay. So when you insulted me, what were you trying to do?
Get you on the podcast.
By insulting me?
Oh, jeez, we're not going anywhere. You're not doing the podcast. This kid do, right?
You have to communicate if you want me to do the podcast. I wanted to understand what your thoughts on drug pricing were. You said that you seem to insinuate that
Jesus Christ,
that my drug pricing
God, you're
policies.
fucking annoying.
I'm sorry if this conversation is annoying. Hello?